I want to start by apologizing first because I was supposed to be here earlier than the time I arrived. Yeah, I don't like to go late, and I don't like to go against my word. I gave the time that I was supposed to be here, and I was late, but it wasn't completely my fault. I blame Isaac partly because he wrote the address like if you are driving, you will just see it on the road. Too much packaging. Route 599, Abeokuta Lagos Expressway, Abulegba, U-turn. So I didn't know which one, whether to look for U-turn or Abulegba or 599, right? I ended up in Alagbado, right, before I turned back and started coming. Another reason I want to apologize is because I'm late. I feel guilty that I'm having to speak before you guys, but the truth is I have to run off. They've paid me for work, and refund is not part of my policy. Refund is a very difficult task, you know. So that's why I actually wanted to speak early, and I opted to come early. He actually gave me 2 o'clock. I told him no, I have to come early because I have work to do, right? So what I'm trying to say in essence is that I'm actually going to be running off, unfortunately. I'm not going to be able to join the panel discussion, number 1. Number 2, I'm not going to be able to take questions, unfortunately, because I'm actually not supposed to be here now. And as a sign of respect to the other speakers who I am especially going to speak before, and the panelists who unfortunately I can't join, I wouldn't want us to be distracted. We are here for something very serious. Okay, so I hope I've been forgiven and I have the permission to carry on.
Yes.
Thank you. I was thinking that I don't know what drew me to this. The first time Isaac told me about this, I saw the address. I'm like, come on, man. But a part of me was like, yes, you have to go, simply because I lived in Fagba at some point in my life, you know. And I'm like, okay, Isaac could have done this in Ikeja, I could have done it on the island, I could have done it anywhere. But the truth of the matter is, when I was living in Fagba, people really didn't take me seriously. They didn't reckon. And I have found out that precious materials, you know, the most precious things in life, the most expensive things, are actually found in nooks and crannies. So in this hall today, don't be surprised. You have world stars here, you have world politicians, you have inventors in this place. Am I making sense?
Yes.
So yes, I was like, I need to come here because my background is not far from this, you know. So I'm going to be telling us about a few things that determine the journey to a successful life. Number 1, which is very important, is to know yourself. Practically every one of us hardly know ourselves. One of the most difficult journeys you will ever travel in this life is a journey to self-discovery. Your name was given to you. The religion you practice was given to you. The pattern of dressing was given to you. The age you are supposed to marry was given to you. The age you are supposed to be termed successful financially was given to you. Pretty much everything was given to us, not just by family, but by society. How many things have we on our own decided that this is who we really are? It is because of these laid down patterns that have been created that makes many of us not to break through when we ought to break through, because we tend to believe we have fit into the system, we have been programmed. You need to sit back and ask yourself, who am I really? Because it is the things that make you happy that will make you live a fulfilled life. If you're doing the things to impress your parents or to impress society, you will just wake up one day and realize that you are very unhappy with yourself. So you need to ask, who are you? It is only when you know who you are, certain things will not influence you. So when they tell you, oh, let's go smoke, let's go drink, let's go party. I'm not saying to party is a bad thing. I'm just saying some people just don't like to party. So don't go if it's not who you are. It's called peer pressure. You need to ask yourself these questions. When you know who you are, there's no amount of pressure that will come that will make you do the things you are not supposed to do. And you will not pursue a line that is not your line. You know, most of us growing up, they wanted us to be either doctors or lawyers or engineers. And let me tell you something. One of the biggest luck I think I ever had in my life was discovering who I was at a very young age. I was 15 and I asked my mom, people who study theater arts, people who star in movies, what do they study? She said theater arts, but it's a useless course. That was the day I decided I was going to study theater. When I was 18, I got into the university and it was a tug of war with my folks from 100 level till final year because they wanted me to change department, but I stuck to my guns. Luckily, they let me be. I thought that was the end, but guess what? After during youth service, my mom says, when you finish, come back to Delta State. I have 2 jobs for you as a lecturer, either in the polytechnic or the university. So because of that, from Kogi State where I served, instead of going back home after service, I came straight to Lagos because that was not who I was, to be a lecturer. But that was the world she knew, and she wanted the best for me. But that was her best. It was not my best. I got to know that I want to be an entertainer. I want to stand before people. I want to entertain people. The bug caught me pretty much when I was very young. So I was very sure this is what I want to do. And I went for it. So help discover yourself and you will know. And you will have no apologies whatsoever. And you will not follow the bandwagon. Okay? And why this is very important is that no matter how hard you try, you cannot give what you don't have. You cannot give what you don't have. If you are not a lawyer and you go and read law, yes, you will have the qualification, but the success other lawyers who are born to do it will find, it will take you probably 20 years, 30 years to find it because it doesn't come to you naturally. So it will take you time to now practice, and then your youth is gone. But the thing you love to do, look, if you are not doing it, you can fall sick. You will wake up and you'll be thinking about it. Before you sleep, you'll be thinking about it. And that because it is inside you. Whatever your gift is meant to be given. So when you are not doing it, you tend to fall sick. You tend to be restless. You tend to be uncalculated. Why? Because that thing you really are is what you want to express. Is the gift God has given you. Unless you express it, you will not lead a fulfilled life. Fulfillment comes from doing the things you are passionate about. Fulfillment doesn't come from making money, except you are passionate about making money. Okay? Number 2, be bold. You have to be very bold. In anything you choose to do, be bold. They say ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. There's no use knowing what you know if you are not putting what you know into use. You have to be very bold. Along the line, there will be a method to your madness, like Toyin A. Do you understand me? Robert Greene in the 48 Laws of Power that D1 actually suggested, one of the books, says that fear in the mind of the participant is evidence of failure in the eye of the onlooker. People can smell timidity from a mile. When you are bold, people will forgive you even if you were making a mistake because you were bold. She gave an example here. Met this lady and the lady was also overly confident, and that was the reason. She knew she was empty training wise, but she knew she was trainable. Why? The first step, she was bold. Nobody likes timidity. There are certain types of lions when they want to hunt, when they see many antelopes, they watch out for the fidgety one. The one that is looking like, hey, see lion, see lion. That's the one they lock their gaze. When the lion goes for the chase, right? It is that one. It will overtake other ones, but that one that is fidgety is what he will go for. So you have to be very bold. And how do you become bold? By just doing it. Just do it. Get up and do it. Yeah, people are going to laugh at you, so it's their laugh. It's not your laugh. And that they laugh at you doesn't make them better than you. Do you understand? As a human being, you tend to be embarrassed every once in a while, but brush it off and move on. It's normal. It's absolutely normal, but you just have to be bold. Boldness is a step forward. There's a saying that says everything you wanted is on the other side of fear. Everything you desire is on the other side of fear. So you see, boldness is like the opposite of fear. And fear is like smoke. When you approach it, it gives way. You just have to be bold in whatever steps. Now, you can be bold, you can be ignorant. Like I said, ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. But now that you are bold, what is the next step? You need to read. You need to be curious. I don't know any other method. What put me where I am today on this journey that I am traveling is the fact that I am a voracious reader. I grew up reading. God bless the soul of my mom. She was a librarian by training and a historian. So I grew up reading. But it was from that habit I realized that no knowledge is a waste. There's what is called residual knowledge. There are things you know, they are resident somewhere in your brain, but you have absolutely no idea that you know until the time you need to use it pops up and it will come to the fore. You think many things passing through you, you read something. Look, watch the news. Be curious for information. 5 minutes of CNN, you have no idea what you have learned until the need to apply it comes. You see what you like. Pick up the newspaper. I used to read the newspaper till tomorrow from the back page. Why? I like sports. After sports, I moved to arts and entertainment. Then after that, I just flip through the rest, read the headlines. So I get a grip of pretty much everything. A little here, a little there, because not everything will interest you naturally, but basically you need to be informed. In this society today, even before the internet age, if you are not informed, there's a problem. Even the Bible says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. So knowledge is power. When God said, let there be light, the interpretation of that light as at then was knowledge. So that's why the earth could separate from the seas could separate from the skies and all that. Do you get what I'm saying? You need to empower yourself. Anything you see, just pick it up, flip through it. You want to be a fashion designer, go and study people who have done fashion designing. You want to be a pilot, go online. You guys are even lucky now. In our time, you had to go to the library, book for the book, and wait for that book, sometimes for weeks, for months before you get it. Now you have the world in your palm. You can Google anything and get the information. It's just because of the professional nature of certain things. Trust me, you can study medicine online. You can learn how to fly a plane, a warplane online. There are simulations you can practice there online. So you see, nobody has an excuse to be ignorant anymore, especially in an area you want to pursue. It's totally up to you. Equip yourself with knowledge. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is so powerful that you can smell danger. Your subconscious, your spirit man will tell you when to move. If you are in tune with your spirit. Unfortunately, I can't go deep into that, but basically, knowledge is power. You need it in your journey to success. All right? Nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you. I'm not going to flog it anymore. The lady who spoke at the time, because D1 has spoken about it, and Tony has spoken about it. Nobody owes you. What makes you think anybody owes you? Do you have any idea how many children were born and dumped that are growing up in orphanage homes? What are their excuses? Then you know your parents, you know your siblings, you have friends. In Africa, we have relatives. Go to the Western world, there are people who only child, father only child, grandfather only child. If all of them die, that's the end of that lineage. You need to understand nobody owes you. That you went to school or that you didn't go to school and they did not do for me, they did not do for me. Who are you? We all have a personal relationship with God. So anything you get, all well and good, is fine. But don't ever feel entitled. Right now, this generation, we feel entitled. It's not, look, Dio said it, the hand that gives is the one that is on top, right? You are a force. The fact that you can get up, the fact that you can walk, the fact that you can even breathe, it shows that you are meant to just move and do. Hold your nose. Try and block it, your nose, your mouth, for 1 minute. You won't die, but the discomfort, then you will have an idea of what God has done for you. Go to the hospital, go to the accident ward, you will freak out. You will see people on the corridors. You will see people who their relatives are not there showing up for them and all. Nobody owes you. I don't know how much I can drum that in, but you need to have it at the back of your mind that anything that is done for you, oh well and good, is a privilege. If they don't do for you, no problem. But you cannot waste your time begrudging somebody that they didn't do for me, they didn't do for me. You are begrudging the person, and the person is living his life going. And you are there begrudging the person. There are countless stories of people who had nothing, who had nobody, but they started and they did it just because they kept walking, just because they did it, okay? And then it's nothing personal. In your journey, you will come across so many things. Isaac, for example, me and him, we fight a lot, but we know that it's nothing personal. He's here, you can ask him. We argue. Our arguments are very fierce. In 2015, we argued to the point where we stood eyeball to eyeball. What were we arguing? Jonathan or Buhari? I was pro-Jonathan, he was pro-Buhari. And I'm like, are you crazy? Buhari, don't you read? Did you check the history of Buhari? He was once a military dictator. He toppled the democracy and all. All what I was saying, he was just telling me, Jonathan, that they are stealing, thief. No, Buhari would. You see, but eventually, we didn't take it personal. The next day, we sat down together, eating, laughing, and all. Now, that's a mild example. What I'm trying to let you know is that people will say things, don't take it personal. Somebody says, oh, you're looking good, and you smile. Don't even take that personal. Because what that means is if the person says you're a goat, you'll be angry. The question is, are you a goat? So why are you angry? Do you realize that when people abuse you, it is because of a lack of joy in them? What they have is what they are giving. What do they have? Venom. What do they have to give? Venom. So you should actually feel sorry for people who can't control themselves to the point where they have to abuse you. It's nothing personal. Absolutely. That's not to say things will not get under your skin. It's natural. You're a human being. You are an emotional being. But check yourself. Check yourself, because it is that person's problem. You are mad. You are crazy. You are an idiot. You are a goat. Feel sorry. That person is overheating. Look, those words don't really define you unless you take it to heart. Do you understand what I'm saying? They are giving what they have. So that's it. You can't give what you don't have, and don't take it personal. Put in the work. You have to put in the work. Now, work, W-O-R-K, is one of the sweetest things if you are doing what you are passionate about. Dio talked about working for several years without a salary because he loved what he was doing. When I started stand-up comedy, I did Kenny's Music Easter Fiesta. They didn't pay, we didn't negotiate, nothing, but I felt very fulfilled. I did it for years, like it was a tradition, because I was doing what I loved. When you are doing what you love, when you are pursuing your passion, you will never get tired of doing it. Number one. Number two, if they wake you from sleep to do it, you will immediately understand it. Number three, it's difficult for others, but it comes to you easily. Number four, you can do it for free. Do you get that? The money that will change your life, you are not going to sweat to get it. The money that will change your life, people will beg you that please take this money, come and do this for us. So that's why I said put in the work. If you're not cut out for 9 to 5, don't go to office and sit down there and There are people who are caught up for 9 to 5. 30 years to them is as though 3 years. You know why? They are passionate about it. They love what they do. But if that's not your passion, don't put in the work there. Leave. Some people will say, but I've spent too much time. What should I do? Start again. Because you will sleep one day and wake up either broken-hearted or fulfilled. Make no mistake about it. I can't sugarcoat it. If you are not doing that thing you are designed to do, you are wasting your time. You will be miserable. Because that's what will fill you up, and that's what you will give the people around you. Misery. And sometimes that thing you want to do might be very stupid in the eyes of man. It's allowed. I had a friend, when I spoke to her for hours, she said she has finally found. I told her, go home and think, what do you love to do? It doesn't have to make sense. She called me and said, Bovi, I think I know what I like. I said, what? And she said, I like to talk. That I can talk from morning till night. You don't need to reply me. That even when you are sleeping, you know when you are dozing off, that she will sleep, that she likes to talk. I said, so what do you want? She said she wants to do a talk show, but she doesn't have money. Money is the problem. I said, money is never the problem. The problem is the idea. You like to talk, go and talk to secondary school girls. Talk to them about puberty. She said, yeah, can you do that? Yes. I said, okay, take a resource person with you, take your smartphone with you, talk to these girls, take pictures and everything, build your profile. One day, United Nations will call you when they have seen what you have done online, and then you will start making money out of it. They will pay you to come and talk to other children. She was very happy. Guess what? When she started, just before she was to start, they told her, she has to go to Ministry of Education to get permission to talk to students for free. And the ministry was doing her like this. She called me and said she feels like giving up. I said, why? She said, see what they are telling her. I said, go to private schools. She went to private school and they said, oh, you are welcome. Talk to them. Do you see? So you see, there will always be hurdles, but think with a clear head and you will avoid them. That's the truth. You step over them. Okay? I already touched it briefly. Avoid validation, embrace criticism, right? She already talked about it. The truth about what social media has done, the dangerous part of social media, it has brought out the narcissist in all of us. Everybody loves a good compliment. Everybody loves to look good. Instagram is a lookbook. I don't know if you've heard one comedian crack a joke of how he was going to help some girls fix their lights. And they're like, oh God, look at him, he's so gifted. The next thing is start using his mouth to hold naked wire. People, they will hail you till you kill yourself. Do you get what I'm saying? So, avoid validation. When I say avoid validation, don't take it to heart. It's not present. Enjoy it for the moment, but focus on the goal. Embrace criticism. It's natural. People will always criticize. People will always have opinions. It's normal. It's up to you to decide whether to take that criticism or not, because you know your job. Some people cannot teach you your job, but out of some stupid things, sometimes ideas come out. I watch everybody, the best comedians, the worst comedians, the ones who are not supposed to be comedians. I watch all of them. When people come and start telling me, oh, you should have said a joke like this, I listen categorically, because even when somebody is telling me rubbish, a new joke can come out from that rubbish. Do you get what I'm saying? That's it for me. Finally, give. D1 has talked about it. Toyi mentioned it. Give. Some of us feel we really don't have to give. And if you wake up, you stand like this, you shake your head, you shake, you raise your hand, you raise. You have something to give. From money to a smile. Do you know that a genuine good morning, you can tell. People smell your aura. Actions speak louder. Give. It's more blessed to give than to receive. Why? Because whatever you give comes back to you 1,000-fold. It's not rocket science. Always give in any way you can. Some of us, what we have to give is our time. Give it. Some of us, if you have money, give it. If you have prayer, give it. You have absolutely no idea. You are doing yourself a favor when you give. Life is not about what you get. Life is about what you give. That is where your joy and your fulfillment lies. Thank you very much.